All right, guys, welcome back to the ALGS channel. Hope you guys are all doing well and having a great day so far. A lot to dive into and discuss and what's going on in the Apex Legends esports scene today. We've got a lot of updates regarding roster changes, retirements going on, people making shifts, and turns out some of those roster changes are actually faring quite nicely, and some results as well that we've got to discuss in the challenger circuit, also the pro scene, multiple match days. What are the storylines? What's going on? Who's doing good and who's not? If you guys want to stay up to date with all things going on in the Apex Legends esports scene, of course, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and big shout out to our sponsor of today's video, which is Glitch Energy. If you guys want to use code jmeyels to get your 20% discount, the link is down in the description below. Maui Punch is my personal flavor, but I've really been drinking a lot of Cherry Bomb lately, so go for it and get your discount down below. So firstly, as the week was getting ready to start, we put out this article on apexglobalseries.com with our power rankings, and I did still rate Dark Zero as the #1 team. You know, we've got some roster changes to look out for. Lux obviously joining Native was a big one. Luda going into the Sentinels. Albralelie also making mention of his change coming forward. And then we go into match day 6. This is Group B versus C, and this was Saturday, and we had a big shocker. Eternal EC, after just making their roster change, you guys saw in my last video, they dropped Void, and we're now picking up a new player, which was going to be McLovin, former Pro League player on Litecoin Esports last year. And they won the night, and this was a big shocker because many people did not see them not only doing good, but first place, overpowering Dark Zero. Not many people had it on their charts for sure, but Eternal EC won the night in first place, Dark Zero in second, Legacy in third, Moist Esports in fourth, and it was a good showing for Sentinels, especially with their recent update as well. But Complexity was another one that I wanted to watch because top 6 for Complexity is good considering a lot of people were doubting this roster. You go into the scoreboard overall, and on that day it was DZ, Moist Esports, and LG in the top 3. Then we flip it over to match day 7, and obviously another, this was literally just last night, this one was probably even more shocking. Complexity is not only here to just do good, but they're here to do great and staying consistent. First place on match day 7 for Group A versus B. This was Complexity in first place, Dark Zero in second place, Native Gaming with a top 3, man. Really good showing for this roster. And of course, if you're not familiar with what's going on with this roster and you've not kept up to date with our other videos, Native Gaming is no longer Rambo, Clane, and Mamba. Not only that, they're also not even their new player that they were going with, which was Zeto. Remember, they hired, or they had this new guy come in for a short time. Not even him anymore, even though they did improve with him. They've now gone with Luxford as their third, which I think makes total sense. Lux was an incredible player coming from the Meat Lovers, and so I don't really blame them for this, and a top 3 showing is probably their best if I'm not mistaken, but really good stuff from them. SSG in 4th, Oxygen in 5th, LG in 6th, TSM in 7th. TSM not dominating, but of course, you know, no, you're not going to win every single one, but I say that, but Dark Zero has quite frankly won almost every single one and are still top 3 in literally every single one. I don't think I've seen a bad day from them in quite some time, but the current standings right now, top 12 overall, Dark Zero first place. I'm not believing this. Complexity is in second place overall. This is not just last night. Overall, with all the games that have been played, Complexity is your second place team. Really big props to them. So proud of the boys, and I really hope they can keep this momentum going. LG is in third place. Now, don't forget, some teams have played 5, some only 4. So Moist Esports almost could be considered your second place team at this point. They're 75 points. They're only 5 points off of second, and they've actually played 1 less match than the other teams. TSM is in 5th place with all 5 matches, and then, you know, SSG, E8, Oxygen, GKS, Legacy, Furia, and Drop In Gaming. So those are your North American standings for now, and then we have some unfortunate roster news coming out after this as well. So SKRT's going to be making a change, as it looks like Albralelie's basically said that he's stepping away from competitive once again, and this leaves the situation in a very rough spot because a lot of people have been asking me, are they going to forfeit their Pro League spot? The answer is no, and I'll explain what we've basically seen so far. So Ambino basically came out not long ago to say that he's going to be teaming with SKRT and Albralelie for the Pro League. Sadly, this does not last long because Albralelie comes out to say that Sunday is going to be his last day competing in Apex for the foreseeable future. Mental health is not good. And basically, he was just going to play this weekend, and then he was going to be stepping away. SKRT came out to say he's going to be looking for a team for the next Pro League split. He's looking super far ahead, and you may think, oh, what's going on? Why next split? Is he forfeiting this spot? But he basically said, still, you know, looking to play this season. Yes, I'm going to finish this split out unless something comes up. Just looking for options early unless we obviously qualify for it. It was a sad one for Ambino because he had just left his really good challenger circuit team, Team Penis. Obviously, we'll go into them in just a second, but now he can't really get back in because they've already made their roster change and they're looking good as well. Hambino said he's looking for a team for Pro League / Challenger Circuit. His DMs are open. It's an unfortunate situation for Hambino, but basically Scurry said he didn't want to be looking for one. He's just looking for a duo instead. So really hope that he can figure things out, and it's unfortunate. We've already dove into Scurry not long ago about the whole mouse and keyboard thing and how he already says that he feels useless because you know, the whole M&K debate continues on. But we did have APAC North also in this scene, and these are their results going on the last couple of days. So I'm not even familiar with some of these rosters, so it's really nice to see some of these other guys step up to the plate. The top 5 teams are basically a bunch of new organizations that you haven't really seen much of, and then you have Northeption down low, Riddle Order down low, Pulverex down low, Fnatic. You don't really see a lot of domination coming out of these guys for their match just a couple of days ago on March the 1st. Then you go Group B versus Group C, and this is where things turn up a little bit. Fnatic in first place. It was actually weird. They tied for first. If you guys didn't see these matches, it was insane. They tied for first, 50 points, but because they had a higher placement, they were actually given the win. And that does matter, by the way. You get more points in the overall standings. And so the overall standings right now for APAC North are as follows. You can see Fnatic is pretty much dominating in first place, Reject winning in second place. And to be honest with you, when it comes to APAC North, there's really not that many surprises. I guess Northeption and Pulverex if you want to, but I just don't feel like there really are any, and APAC North seems to be doing fairly well. Then you go into APAC South. If you guys didn't watch those games this weekend, Legends Gaming, of course, the probable best team in this region by far. This is the former Blackhand roster, which, by the way, Blackhand has also announced that they've signed someone. We don't know who it is quite yet, but Wonton Dumpling and Team Burger in the top 3. Pretty good work on them. We kind of expected this, I would say. Then in last night's game, you had Dreamfire, Wonton Dumpling, and AGL in the top 3. Once again, Dreamfire has really turned up as of late. Of course, if you guys didn't see them compete at the Asia Festival, they started to really turn things up because they weren't doing good at the beginning of Pro League, and now they're starting to do a lot better. Wonton Dumpling is in first place, Legends Gaming in second place, Boogie Borders in third place. And honestly, I don't think anyone disagrees with this top 3 right now. Maybe Dreamfire is on the come up and maybe they get back up in there, but honestly, I think that this top 3 right now is pretty accurate to what I think the top 3 actually is in that region. Then you go into the EMEA scene. Now this one is a big one because a lot of these teams are a little bit more known and probably a little bit more respected, unfortunately, but Aurora has really shocked my mind. I discredited this team so much because I just looked at EMEA as a scene that was just like, you know, not that good. Maybe they're a little bit behind. Aurora is another team that, you know, they didn't do good at LAN. They're surely not going to do much better now, but they have been so consistent lately. Aurora is looking amazing, and so really good work on them. They were able to finish first in Group B versus Group C just a couple of days ago. Alliance in that top 3 as well. LCDF, it was good to see them because I haven't seen them, I guess, dominate so much lately. But another team that a lot of people were looking out for is OAH, which is Orgulous in Hungary, and then Element 6, of course, and I'll tell you why in just a couple of minutes. But Group A versus Group B, this was last night. Of course, Orgulous in Hungary pops off first place on the night for them. Alliance with another 4th place finish. 07 6th place finish, and then you also see Element 6 in a 12th place. Not their best, but overall standings as it stands, Element 6 still in that top 4. Aurora is in first place, and honestly, what's so impressive, Aurora's in 4th place with only 4 games played, so they're actually a game behind everybody else and still in first place. These guys have been really dominant, to be honest with you. OAH is in second, 07 in top 3, and then you got E6, Alliance, Cybercats, 2 Rats, 1 Controller, and Team Portugal in that top 8. Unfortunately, the 40% worst team with Shiv and Co. not doing too great in 29th place. Hopefully things can be figured out pretty soon. But then we move into the Challenger Circuit. What's been going on there? Because a lot of people are all eyes on this North America CC right now. And if you guys have not seen what took place last night, I'm pretty sure we broke history. An all-female roster was the first female roster in the North American Challenger Circuit to make finals. I'm pretty sure we saw one in the last CC in the EMEA scene, but I don't think we've ever seen one in the North American scene. And Team Insomnia did this last night, the first female roster to make finals in North America. This team is awesome, and I think a lot of you guys probably know this roster anyways, with Julia and Envy as well, and Selena. All these girls have been around for quite some time. They're really no strangers to the scene. It was just really good to see them make it into the finals, and on top of that, finishing 5th place in their group in semis as well. So a lot of eyes on them for sure. And then you go into all the teams that are competing tonight. Don't forget, finals are tonight if you guys want to watch, and there are a lot of good teams in here. Wendy's 4for4, which is the Enoch team, right? It's Matt and Aprizi Easy and all those guys have been playing together for quite some time. Enoch's been getting a lot of hate because of his schedule, and I think he's got a point to prove, and obviously he wants to do that. Tripods now making their roster change. A lot of eyes are on them, and they think that this roster is going to be the one that can do this now that Nick Merckx has gone. That's what people say, and of course, a lot of people credit Anmu to be a better fit for this roster. We'll see if that takes place. Casual gaming with Dig Vibes and such. I think this roster is another one to look out for. 1337 with Mav. I really think that Los Licks is another roster that could easily win this. A lot of teams honestly could easily win this. Stunny is in here with Vaxlon. I just think that this honestly, LC is my team to win. I just don't think that you're going to be able to top their experience, but we'll see how it all goes down tonight. Really hoping Tripods have a good showing. Really hoping Insomnia has a good showing, and best of luck to all these teams tonight. So don't forget at tonight, if you guys are interested in watching, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date in a one-stop shop channel for all Apex Legends esports news. And until the next time, we'll see you all later, Gators.